the pivotal question of teachers, and we are talking about 116,000 deficit at the moment in the country.
Yes.
There is the position of the chief administrative position secretaries in the country. Let's go hypothetical by the number that the former president appointed, 29. You will require 2 billion to maintain all the CASs who will be appointed, though this is not envisioned in the constitution. Why then not refocus this priority? Because this money can employ 5,714 teachers and also employ the 4,000 unemployed doctors in the country. I mean, talking about in the midst of austerity. Why do you need the CAS position, for example?
Well, to start with, in matters teachers, there is a very big gap, the way you have said. In 6 months, the Ruto administration has done something that has never been done in the history of this country. We have employed 35,000 teachers so that we can start bridging the gap. Next year we'll do another 35,000. We had initially wanted to do it in 2 years, 116,000. It was in our plan. But on reaching here where we are, and looking at the economy and the performance of the economy, we found that we cannot fill the gap in 2 years. It needs to be spread across 5 years. But we have started somewhere. We have now rolled out the employment of 35,000 teachers, and that will really be a big relief to our schools. On the issue of saying that if we don't appoint the CSs, then it can go to the teachers. The same argument would, why don't you do away with the deputy president so that we can employ the teachers? I don't think that argument will hold. The president, in his wisdom and governance structure, from time to time will determine the levels of support that he requires to govern. We have found a country that is in a hole. We are trying to get out of that hole. We have found, like now, the Minister of Agriculture is always out of the country for a good reason, looking for maize. He was in Morocco looking for fertilizer. He was in Zambia looking for this. He was in that. He is hardly in the country. And he's not out there having leisure. He's working. He needs to leave somebody here to handle other matters that are supposed to be handled by the minister. Because the PS is there. Okay. He is the accounting officer of the ministry. But at the policy level, there is a gap. I was looking for CS Linturi last week. I was going to the agricultural show in Eldoret. And he was not here. He was in some country where the president had sent him. If there was a CAS, that is the person I would have gone to the Eldoret show, so that he can make whatever policy pronouncements that he needs to make as minister there. But I had to recall Inturi from wherever he was. He stopped what he was doing to come back so that we go for the show. Because what happens when you go to meet farmers, when you go to meet exhibitors, there are certain issues that will be raised that needs the minister to be there to make an answer. So, from where I sit, listening to the president, assisting him in the management of the affairs of this country, chairing the cabinet committees, there is a gap. There is a serious gap. And we need another level of helpers to enable us execute our mandate. And the president and I and the rest of us are persuaded that the costs, the benefit of having the CSs will outweigh the cost to it. Okay. So that we have another level. And you see, even previously, during those years, there was a minister, there was an assistant minister. When the minister is not there, the assistant minister will go to parliament and answer questions. We are reaching a place where we are getting stuck because, you know, as a country, we have agreed that the model of development is PPP, public-private partnership. We have a lot of work to do to engage with investors across the world. This means that the cabinet secretaries at their level needs to travel to enter into agreements with various countries, with various investors. And what happens when they are not there? There is a gap. So In the next few days, the president will name the CSs, and by the way, it's a recommendation by the Public Service Commission, and those people will go to Parliament, they'll be vetted, then they'll come and add value to the government by assisting the cabinet secretaries and by filling that gap where we are getting caught up in situations that are not very neat in terms of service delivery.
Thank you.